Hima-Ten resides in a very interesting place for me in that I think it is subverting a lot of the rom-com tropes and typical situations that you see in very interesting ways, while at the same time occasionally throwing up the most fluffy bits of nothing chapters that I have ever seen. I think that the way that Kana was handled recently was really refreshing, and it showed off the main character's maturity. But everything around that supposed ski trip that never was, it was just a whole load of nothing at the end of the day. Because of this, I cannot slingshot this series up to blue box levels. Definitely not. But it can easily be thought of as bumped up from what the average would say it is, or at least the ranking average that I have it as here. I think that realistically it will always slot low down on my rankings for these lists, but I think that there will be a clear distinction between Hima-Ten and some other series at the lower end of the pile. I enjoy this series, and more importantly, I enjoy talking about it. It gets a lot of reactions out of me, which honestly is more than I can say for things like Ultimate Extras Kyoshi. Like, it's just fun to talk about in these reviews at times. Anyway, here is a sample of my reviews for Hima-Ten in 2026. Oh man, this chapter was so much nothing. I can't express how much of a load of nothing 95% of the last two chapters have been for this series. Should we just expect that this series will continue to waffle about like it has for the past 2 weeks? Goodness, I hope not. I liked this week's chapter. I think that the complicated feelings that were expressed here were actually complicated and not just the characters being overly dramatic in ways that rom-coms can sometimes be. I think that exploring the relationships the way that this series currently is going to be really interesting. And I wonder if Tenichi is actually going to go forward with this and not just fall back into the harem protagonist thing of just being like, oh, I'm going to be so non-committal to all of these girls, and actually just, jump in with his choice. I didn't know that this was an option. Why doesn't everybody just reject when they're fired and keep working? Clearly, I missed out. Himari presses the issue and brings up the fact that Iomori is going to choose Honoka or Kanai. Like, wow, it's real, guys. Iomori decides he needs 1 month to think it over, but he's going to tell Kanai how he feels at the end of it, which he declares at this moment. But what that actually means is that the countdown clock is starting. All the harem girls to the starting lines. You have 1 month to convince this boy not to confess his feelings to the other girl. Also, Himari casually dropping high school love is all pure and only the cutest survive. Or the most house husbandy, which is where Iomori comes in. But also, Himari is going to use the time to get over Iomori? I'm shocked. But wait, maybe not. She invited him as a friend over to the house. I am genuinely conflicted about this. I really like how Iomari put his big boy pants on and is clearly making a decision. I am happy that Himari seems to be 60% accepting that decision and making peace with it. Kind of. But I did kind of like the idea of the 1 month countdown and all the girls fighting out to see if they could, convince Iomori to go with them, change his mind, and seeing how Iomori would be able to stick it out in front of all of those simultaneous campaigns. Man, I am talking a lot about Hima-Ten. You know what? It's back to being pretty good. No peak blue box, obviously, but good. Fine chapter. A whole lot of yelling about nothing, but, it wasn't that bad. Himari and Tenichi go to do the shrine visit after some hemming and hawing to start out. She dresses to the nines, and he doesn't really acknowledge it. He kind of does, but, he doesn't acknowledge it in the way that she would probably have wanted him to acknowledge it. And it is what I thought. Himari is treating this month as the hard charge to try to win over Iomori, but she does it in a subtle way. So, That's nice. Not for nothing, but my eyes did kind of start to glaze over in the middle of this chapter. Don't really know why, but for whatever reason, I just wasn't digging it that much. Oh well. Not bad, of course, but just... I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm just going through. It's like, I don't know, I felt like I was going through the motions, but... whatever. Oh, did you forget Kana is about fan service? Here's a huge panel of fan service, just in case you forgot. She's in the harem too. Sell more books. Buy volume 8 for the fan service. Oh boy. Well, anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Iamori and Himari came back from their shrine date, and some mysterious foreshadowing is dropped to start the chapter. Ooh, I wonder how it will change everything for this school term. Kana sees him first, again reminds everyone that she's in the competition, and that she has his little sister on lockdown, so that's a point in her favor. Kanai is up next. Iamori notices she cut her hair, so that's a point in her favor. Plus, Iamori reminds us all in his mind that she is in pole position still. I should do a girl power ranking. They don't move around much, but it'd be kind of funny. Himenono appears next. No, she doesn't count. That would be weird. Don't go that way. Don't go that way. Himari shows up next, but get out of the way, because Kanai is inviting Iamori for a tutoring session. Okay, back to Himari, I guess. She's cleaning her house because she has to do that now without having a house cleaner. And one of her business people comes over to say that someone snapped a picture of the date that she had with Iamori, which is definitely going to cause shenanigans, I'm sure. I did have fun reading this chapter in its own way, even with the fan service that it didn't really need and I didn't really need, but it won't be rated as low this week. Okay. If she is as famous as this series is telling us that she is, and this is Himari that I'm talking about, if I remember correctly, they live in Japan, who have a noted, shall we say, interest in the appearances and relationships of their public figures. How in the world would she have expected that no one would take her photo, or she would not have her photo taken while they were doing this because she wasn't in disguise? You know, I think it should have been clearly obvious. I mean, really, how could she be surprised at all? Anyway, she throws a tantrum and her business manager person comes to hear her out. And now we have to pause here to talk about something that this business manager says during this conversation. She says that she left a high-earning career to work for Himari, but I am just going to take a second to say bullcrap to all of that. I don't know what sort of high-level law firm or consultancy that she walked away from, but she is a high-level business manager for a, let's be clear, extremely famous influencer. No, Himari is not making videos or anything like that, but she does have an extremely, if this series is to be believed, popular beauty and skincare line and she herself is popular enough to be put on billboards in major cities marketing her own line of products. Himari herself, yes, with her own money, not her parents' money, is able to afford to live in a full-on house in Tokyo, you know, because those real estate prices are notoriously low. No way is this PR manager not being compensated well. She works for a successful influencer entrepreneur. Girl, you're making bank. If you're not being paid enough, ask Himari for a raise or something. I mean, I honestly have no idea what you're talking about. If it's just about career prospects, then fine. But you're telling me you couldn't use the work that you're doing for Himari right now as some sort of personal portfolio to land you some next gig, I mean, you would have to be working in something that is not marketing related. And if you were working in something that wasn't marketing related, then okay, fine. But I mean, Himari kind of drops that she was an author, but like, one, you can still be an author in your off time. Like, maybe you couldn't be a full-time author, but you know, you can still write your book whenever you're not doing your work. Two, authors aren't really like a super high-paying job. Three, you don't have career prospects as an author. You could just be an author and always be an author if that's what you were. If you were working in something that wasn't related to marketing, then okay, maybe I can understand. But we've never been led to believe that she was like a lawyer or something. Like, that line just didn't make sense. I mean, it was like, it was to be used to kind of give her like a, hey, I'm here for you. Like, I sacrificed to be here with you. That would sort of hit more at home if Himari wasn't as popular as she is, but she's clearly really popular. I mean, she's really popular and she's got a lot of money. It didn't add up. She spends the whole night just throwing fastballs at Iamori, just absolute heaters right down the middle of the plate. And the PR manager also comes in with her tacit support for whatever it's worth. What you gonna do, Iamori? Are you gonna be swayed and leave Kanai in the lurch? Anyway, I did have fun with this one. Iamori and Kanai get to have their conversation, and you know what? They actually have it. There are no misunderstandings, all of their feelings get across, and everything is right as rain. It's things like this which are why and what make me like this series, because it's just like, they actually just had a conversation like real people and didn't have all of those stupid misunderstandings that you can sometimes get in rom-coms where like, nobody talks like this. Nobody has these misunderstandings. They're just, you know, making all this crap for, you know, reasons because you want to stretch out the plot. But then right at the end, Kanai throws out that she will be telling Iamori that she likes him. But wait a minute, look up at that tiny panel up in the corner there where she says she's gonna wait a month to do it, just like he is. Oh man, I love this idea of the battle royale for the boy, but this just feels, it just feels stupid. Like, what, like, why are they waiting for no reason at all? She's just like, oh, I'm gonna tell him that I like him, but in a month, because the weather's nice today, so that means it's the right decision. Like, what are you talking about, girl? Just do it. Just do it. He likes you too. You could end this. You could end this right now. And you could be like, screw Hima-Ten, this is Kanai-Ten. Bam. End of story. But no, this needs to be Hima-Ten. Himari needs to have a chance over the next month to convince the boy that Kanai is just, you know, whatever. Not for you anymore, even though she likes you too. And if you guys both just did this now, you would date. And then, yeah, it's that is kind of stupid. I enjoyed the chapter, but I was like, oh my God, really? Okay, in this chapter, we make it very clear. Kanai is in pole position to get the boy. That's right. She is in first place. She is the one. No. I don't care what the series is called. I don't care what little bit of art you see down there. It's Kanai. She's the one, okay? Do you believe me as the mangaka? Do you? Well, that is basically what the whole chapter was trying to convince you of. Do I need to cover the plot? Okay, I guess. They do cram school stuff. Iamori isn't in her class, but that's okay, because that means he gets to have the special tutor session with Kanai at her house. Oh boy. You know, just do it or not do it at this point now, guys. I mean, just why jerk us around like this? I vibed with the best friend here, though. The best friend for Iamori. He's just spitting facts the whole way. Oh, hey! Everybody! Remember! Kana is here! Yep, she is also involved. Did you forget? Well, she didn't, and she is inserting herself back into the conversation. And she even points out that she was the one who got the plot moving. So, you know, we do have to give her points for that, because that is true. Himari is starting to have doubts about the month competition to win the boy, but Kana and Himari come to the realization that they need to keep on fighting for the sake of their love. Because obviously they know that if they were the first girl, they would win, so maybe they can beat the childhood friend who isn't really a childhood friend to the punch and win the boy. Kana's next gambit is to have Iomori help her move, so look forward to that coming up. Another nice chapter where people actually, you know, talk about stuff rather than just holding it in. So, you know, that's nice. It's just becoming nice to read. You know, sometimes this series has been a slog, and it's not. It's just, you know, it's nice. Iomori shows up to Kana's place wearing definitely not a suspicious disguise. Nope, not at all. Definitely doesn't look like a creep. Anyway, good job all around this chapter. This was fun. I like Kana for sure, and I also like that Iomori can actually stand up for himself and isn't being totally stupid about all of this. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Anyone who is a fan of Kana, we now have the conclusion of this girl's shot at getting the boy. We learned that the reason that she likes him is that he was supportive of her. Also, he's her type. And then she takes one last throw of the baseball at him right down the middle of the plate, and Iomori just watches it fly right on by. He rejects her flat out, and even dodges the idea that maybe it would have worked different if the situation was different. Man, this series can be such a breath of fresh air for the genre. Sometimes, you know, this series just does something that I don't expect it to do, given what it is as a series, and that is just, it elevates it to a level that I think it wouldn't normally be at. I mean, these two literally they just talked it out, and now it's done. And yeah, it's done. That's right, Kana fans. She's out of the running. It ain't happening. They can be friends, but no more than that. And if they do become more than that, then shame on you, because that just undercuts everything that's good about this series. If you just are like, oh, nope, whoops, sorry. Now she's back in the running again. Nope, she's out of it. It's done. It's not going to be a harem ending, and she is no longer involved. Good job.